He starts guiding the listener with a calm but firm truth. Self-responsibility is where every real financial transformation begins, whether people like it or not. He explains that most money problems aren't created by bad luck, the economy, or other people, but by repeated choices made without awareness. When someone accepts self-responsibility, something powerful happens inside the mind. The excuses slowly fade, emotional control improves, and an unshakable mind begins to form. He tells the listener that this isn't about blame or shame, it's about reclaiming inner power. Once a person realizes that their habits shape their results, they stop waiting to be saved and start building prosperity with intention. He gives a practical example. Tracking expenses honestly for 30 days. No judgment, no drama, just awareness. That simple act sharpens focus, strengthens discipline, and creates a quiet sense of control. From there, responsibility stops feeling heavy and starts feeling freeing, setting the stage for deeper personal growth. He continues by explaining that self-responsibility is the invisible line separating people who stay stuck from those who move forward. Those who grow financially understand strategic silence. They don't waste energy complaining about what they can't control. Instead, they adjust what they can. When income feels tight, they don't panic or seek shortcuts. They review habits, cut unnecessary spending, and practice impulse control. These actions may look small, but repeated with consistency, they build resilience and a strong mindset. He reminds the listener that prosperity is rarely loud at the beginning. It grows quietly, powered by silent strength and daily discipline. Self-responsibility teaches a person to stop performing for others and start building for themselves. And once that shift happens, money decisions become calmer, smarter, and more aligned with long-term goals. Then he brings the lesson into everyday life, explaining that self-responsibility shows up in ordinary moments, not dramatic ones. It's choosing to review finances instead of scrolling, to learn a new skill instead of blaming circumstances, to plan instead of panic. These choices train persistence and reinforce emotional control. When mistakes happen, and they will, self-responsibility replaces self-criticism with deep reflection. Overspending becomes data, not failure. A bad month becomes feedback, not identity. This mindset creates growth. Through adjustment, not guilt, each time the listener returns to the plan instead of quitting, their inner power strengthens. Over time, this return becomes a habit, and that habit builds consistency. Consistency, he reminds them, is what separates temporary effort from lasting prosperity. He then explains that self-responsibility also means protecting focus from noise. Too many opinions weaken discipline. Too much comparison damages emotional control. Strategic silence becomes essential. He advises the listener to be selective about who they share financial goals with, because not everyone deserves access to unfinished plans. Silence protects momentum. It allows habits to form without external pressure and gives space for reflection and clarity. With fewer distractions, awareness sharpens and decisions improve. He points out that many people lose momentum not because they lack ability, but because they invite too much noise into their process. Self-responsibility teaches restraint, patience, and the value of quiet progress driven by inner conviction rather than external validation. He closes this topic by reinforcing that self-responsibility is not self-punishment, it's self-leadership. It's the moment a person understands they're not broken or unlucky, just untrained. Training begins with awareness, grows through habit, and solidifies through consistency. When responsibility becomes a lifestyle, emotional control stabilizes, discipline strengthens, and the mind becomes unshakable. Prosperity stops feeling distant and starts feeling constructed, one decision at a time. He pauses deliberately, allowing the weight of this realization to settle, and smoothly transitions forward, because once self-responsibility is accepted, the natural next step is learning how to apply self-discipline consistently in real life. He moves forward by explaining that self-discipline is where self-responsibility turns into visible behavior. Anyone can understand responsibility, but discipline is what proves it daily. He reminds the listener that motivation is unreliable, especially with money, because emotions fluctuate. Discipline, on the other hand, shows up even when energy is low and enthusiasm is gone. Paying bills on time, saving consistently, studying after a long day, or saying no to impulse spending are not glamorous acts, but they are the foundation of an unshakable mind. He explains that discipline isn't about restriction, it's about protection. It protects future prosperity from today's emotional decisions. When routines are established, emotional control strengthens and stress decreases. Money stops feeling chaotic and starts feeling manageable, which reinforces inner power and clarity. He continues by reframing self-discipline as an agreement with one's future self. Every disciplined action sends a clear message to the mind: I can be trusted. That trust builds a strong mindset. He gives a practical example, setting automatic transfers for savings the same day income arrives. This removes temptation and trains impulse control without constant effort. Another example is applying a 24-hour pause before non-essential purchases, allowing awareness to override emotion. These small systems reduce internal conflict and support consistency. Over time, this consistency builds resilience because the person no longer relies on willpower alone. Discipline becomes a habit, not a struggle, and progress feels calmer and more predictable. He then addresses the resistance many people feel toward discipline, especially when they associate it with rigidity. He explains that true discipline actually creates freedom. When finances are organized, the mind relaxes, anxiety decreases, focus improves, and decisions become clearer. He encourages the listener to start small by mastering one financial habit at a time, such as tracking expenses weekly or saving a fixed percentage. Small wins create momentum, and momentum fuels personal growth. With each repeated action, inner power strengthens. Discipline stops feeling forced and starts feeling natural, like a routine the mind no longer argues with. He emphasizes that discipline thrives on consistency, not intensity. Extreme efforts followed by burnout don't create prosperity. Sustainable routines do. 10 minutes a day reviewing finances is more powerful than one stressful overhaul a year. He explains that consistency trains silent strength because progress happens quietly without constant emotional highs or lows. When setbacks happen, discipline paired with deep reflection turns mistakes into adjustments instead of excuses. This approach builds resilience and emotional control at the same time. The listener begins to understand that showing up calmly, even on difficult days, is what truly compounds results. He closes this topic by reminding the listener that self-discipline is self-respect in action. It's choosing long-term prosperity over short-term comfort. Again and again. Each disciplined choice strengthens trust in oneself and stabilizes emotions. Over time, discipline creates a calm confidence that doesn't depend on circumstances. With this foundation in place, the mind becomes steadier, stronger, and more prepared for the next step. He transitions smoothly because discipline naturally leads to the development of an unshakable mind, which becomes essential for handling pressure without losing focus. He now guides the listener into the heart of the journey by explaining that an unshakable mind is not built through confidence quotes or sudden motivation, but through repeated discipline applied under pressure. He explains that money has a unique way of testing emotional control, especially when bills pile up, plans move slowly, or results don't show immediately. An unshakable mind doesn't ignore reality, it faces it calmly. Instead of reacting with panic, it pauses, evaluates, and responds with focus. This pause is where inner power is trained. He explains that every time a person resists emotional decisions, they strengthen resilience and reinforce a strong mindset. The mind learns that discomfort doesn't mean danger, and delay doesn't mean failure. That awareness creates stability, and stability is the foundation of prosperity built over time. Paragraph 2. He clarifies an important misconception, saying that an unshakable mind doesn't mean feeling nothing. Emotions will always show up, especially around money, but impulse, control decides whether those emotions take the wheel. Fear may appear when income fluctuates, excitement may arise with new opportunities, but discipline chooses the response. Strategic silence becomes a powerful tool here. Instead of reacting publicly or emotionally, the person adjusts privately and intelligently. He explains that this quiet adjustment is silent strength in action. Each time someone follows the plan instead of the impulse, consistency deepens. Over time, the mind becomes less reactive and more intentional, which dramatically improves financial decisions and long-term growth. He brings the lesson into daily life, showing how an unshakable mind operates in ordinary moments. It's choosing not to compare lifestyles, not to chase appearances, and not to rush timelines. Comparison, he warns, destroys focus and weakens emotional control. A strong mindset stays committed to its own path. He recommends setting clear personal rules around money, such as fixed spending limits or automatic savings, because rules remove emotional negotiation. When decisions are made in advance, the mind stays calm under pressure. This structure strengthens awareness and reinforces discipline, allowing progress to feel steady instead of stressful. Paragraph 4. He then introduces deep reflection as a key element of an unshakable mind. Mistakes are inevitable, but how they're processed determines growth. Overspending, missed goals, or slow progress are not reasons to quit, they are signals to adjust. Through reflection, the listener learns to analyze without self-attack. This balance builds resilience and keeps consistency intact. He explains that harsh self-judgment leads to burnout, while thoughtful reflection leads to improvement. Each adjustment strengthens trust in the process and reinforces inner power. The mind becomes steady because it knows it can recover, recalibrate, and continue forward. Paragraph 5. He closes this topic by reminding the listener that an unshakable mind is quiet, grounded, and patient. It doesn't seek validation or rush results. It understands that prosperity is built through habit, not hype, and through discipline, not drama. This mind stays calm in uncertainty and focused in distraction. With emotional control anchored and awareness sharpened, challenges lose their ability to shake direction. He lets this realization settle naturally, then smoothly transitions forward, because once the mind is steady, the next essential skill is mastering emotional control with precision and consistency. He moves forward by explaining that emotional control is what keeps even the best financial plan from collapsing under pressure. Money has a way of touching fear, pride, urgency, and comparison all at once, and without control, emotions quietly take over decisions. He explains that emotional control isn't about suppressing feelings or pretending stress doesn't exist. It's about choosing actions that align with long-term prosperity instead of short-term relief. When anxiety appears, the disciplined pause becomes essential. That pause creates mental space for awareness and focus. He gives a practical example: receiving unexpected money and feeling the urge to spend it immediately. A controlled mind practices strategic silence, steps back, and assigns that money a purpose before emotion assigns it a mood. This simple habit strengthens inner power and protects consistency, allowing growth to continue without emotional sabotage. He continues by showing how emotional reactions silently destroy wealth over time. Impulse purchases, panic decisions, emotional debt, and rushed investments are rarely logical. They're emotional responses disguised as urgency. He reminds the listener that every emotional spike is a test of self-discipline. Passing the test builds resilience, while failing it builds regret. He suggests a practical tool: separating emotion from action by writing down financial decisions and revisiting them after 24 hours. This short delay strengthens impulse control and dramatically reduces mistakes. Over time, these pauses become automatic, reinforcing a strong mindset that stays calm even when pressure rises. Emotional control, he says, isn't dramatic. It's quiet, repeatable, and extremely profitable in the long run. He then addresses comparison as one of the most dangerous emotional traps. Seeing others' success often creates impatience, and impatience weakens consistency. A person with an unshakable mind understands that prosperity follows personal timing, not public timelines. Emotional control allows someone to stay focused on their own path without being distracted by noise. He advises limiting exposure to unrealistic financial narratives and social pressure that distort reality. Strategic silence becomes protection here. Silence preserves clarity and prevents emotional decisions driven by envy or urgency. When focus remains internal, awareness increases and decisions improve. Progress may look slower from the outside, but internally it becomes stronger and more sustainable. He shifts towards self-awareness, explaining that emotions are signals, not commands. Fear may signal risk, excitement may signal opportunity, but neither should dictate action alone. Through deep reflection, a person learns to interpret emotional signals wisely. He encourages the listener to observe emotional patterns tied to spending, saving, or earning. This awareness strengthens discipline and reinforces emotional control. When patterns become visible, choices become intentional. The mind stops reacting and starts responding strategically. This calm response is a form of silent strength that compounds daily and builds long-term resilience. He closes this topic by reminding the listener that emotional control is what transforms discipline into lasting stability. Anyone can behave well when conditions are easy. The real test appears during stress, delay, or disappointment. Those who maintain control, adjust plans calmly, and protect consistency grow stronger with each challenge. Emotional mastery turns obstacles into training. He allows the idea to settle, then smoothly transitions forward, because emotional control reaches its full power only when paired with the next principle: mastering strategic silence as a deliberate financial and mental advantage. He introduces strategic silence by explaining that not every move needs to be announced, especially when money, growth, and long-term prosperity are involved. Most people talk too much and act too little, and that habit drains focus and emotional control. Strategic silence protects energy. It allows the mind to stay clear while plans are still fragile. He explains that when someone is rebuilding finances, changing habits, or creating a new source of income, silence becomes a form of discipline. Talking too early invites opinions, doubt, and pressure that weaken consistency. A person with an unshakable mind understands that progress doesn't need validation. Quiet action builds inner power and strengthens a strong mindset. Silence isn't hiding, it's choosing the right timing to speak. He continues by explaining that strategic silence removes the need to perform for others. Many financial mistakes are made not because of lack of knowledge, but because of the desire to impress. Spending to look successful, rushing decisions to prove capability, or copying someone else's. Strategy without awareness all come from external pressure. Silence eliminates that pressure. It strengthens impulse control and keeps decisions aligned with long-term prosperity. He advises the listener to write financial goals down instead of announcing them. This simple habit reinforces discipline and keeps focus internal. Over time, this quiet commitment builds resilience because progress becomes personal instead of performative. He then explains how silence sharpens awareness. When there's less noise, reflection deepens. Strategic silence creates space for deep reflection, honest reviews, and calm adjustments. He suggests a practical routine, weekly financial check-ins done alone, without distractions or commentary. This habit builds consciousness and emotional control. Facing numbers in silence takes courage, but that courage turns into silent strength. The more comfortable a person becomes with quiet evaluation, the less reactive they become in stressful moments. Prosperity grows faster in calm environments, and silence creates that environment internally. He moves forward by showing how strategic silence protects emotional stability during setbacks. When unexpected expenses or slow progress appear, reacting publicly often increases stress. Silence allows private correction instead of emotional reaction. A disciplined mind adjusts plans quietly and continues forward. This approach strengthens consistency and prevents small problems from turning into emotional setbacks. He explains that people with strong mental discipline don't need to explain delays or justify patience. Their confidence comes from inner alignment, not external approval. That alignment reinforces inner power and keeps the journey steady. He closes this topic by reminding the listener that strategic silence is not weakness, it's mastery. It's choosing growth over noise, clarity over chaos, and long-term prosperity over short-term validation. Silence allows habits to solidify, discipline to deepen, and resilience to strengthen. Progress may be invisible for a while, but it's real. He lets that idea settle naturally, then transitions forward with intention, because once silence is mastered, the next step is learning how to access and strengthen true inner power consistently. He moves forward by explaining that inner power is what remains when no one is watching, encouraging, or applauding the effort. It's built quietly through daily choices that align actions with values. Inner power shows up when someone follows a financial plan, even when emotions argue otherwise. He explains that money responds first to internal order, not external effort. When routines are honored and limits are respected, emotional control stabilizes and the unshakable mind strengthens. Inner power isn't loud confidence or ego. It's calm authority rooted in discipline, awareness, and consistency. When pressure appears, the person with inner power doesn't rush or freeze. They pause, assess, and act with focus. That pause is where growth becomes permanent instead of emotional. He continues by saying that inner power is trained through repetition, not discovered through motivation. Every time someone saves instead of spends, studies instead of complains, or persists instead of quitting, that power grows stronger. These moments often feel invisible, but they accumulate into resilience. He gives a practical example: building an emergency fund quietly, month after month. No one sees the sacrifice at first, but when an unexpected expense appears, calm replaces panic. That calm response reveals silent strength. Inner power reduces anxiety because it replaces uncertainty with preparation. With preparation in place, decisions become clearer and prosperity becomes less stressful and more intentional. He then explains that inner power depends on self-trust, and self-trust is built through consistency. When actions and values align repeatedly, confidence forms naturally. Inconsistency weakens power, while disciplined habits reinforce it. He advises setting non-negotiable financial standards, such as always paying yourself first or avoiding unnecessary debt. These standards simplify decisions and reduce emotional negotiation. Over time, the mind stops debating and starts executing automatically. This automation preserves mental energy, strengthens emotional control, and keeps focus on long-term growth instead of short-term distractions. He deepens the reflection by addressing patience. Inner power grows when a person becomes comfortable with delayed results. Impatience weakens discipline, while patience sharpens it. Prosperity follows rhythm, not urgency. Through deep reflection, the listener learns to separate effort from immediate reward. Progress may feel slow, but steady effort builds momentum beneath the surface. Acting despite doubt strengthens inner authority. Each disciplined choice reinforces the belief that progress is happening even when results aren't visible yet. That belief stabilizes emotions and keeps persistence alive. He closes this topic by reminding the listener that inner power doesn't seek shortcuts or approval. It stays calm, grounded, and deliberate. When inner power is strong, external circumstances lose their ability to shake direction. Money stops being a source of fear and becomes a tool for personal growth. With habits solidified, discipline steady, and awareness sharpened, the foundation is complete. He transitions smoothly forward because once inner power is established, the next challenge is sustaining momentum over time through persistence. He moves forward by explaining that persistence is what separates intention from results, especially in money and personal growth. Many people start strong, full of plans and motivation, but fade when progress feels slow. Persistence is different. It's calm, patient, and grounded in discipline. He explains that persistence isn't about forcing outcomes. It's about staying committed to the process even when emotions fluctuate. When someone keeps saving during slow months, keeps learning during setbacks, and keeps showing up without applause, they're training an unshakable mind. This steady commitment strengthens emotional control and reinforces inner power. Persistence teaches the mind that progress doesn't require excitement, only consistency and focus applied day after day. He reminds the listener that prosperity rewards those who stay longer than doubt. He continues by explaining that persistence works best when expectations are realistic. Many quit not because they can't succeed, but because they expect results too fast. He uses a practical example: paying off debt. The first months feel heavy. Progress looks small and motivation fades. Persistence reframes the situation. Each payment, no matter how small, is proof of discipline and impulse control. Over time, momentum builds quietly. That quiet build is silent strength at work. He explains that persistence removes emotional drama from the journey. Instead of asking, "Is this working?" the persistent mind asks, "Am I consistent?" That shift protects awareness and stabilizes emotions. Growth becomes mechanical, predictable, and sustainable. He then shows how persistence protects focus in a distracted world. Constant comparison, noise, and urgency weaken long-term effort. Persistence anchors attention to the plan instead of the pressure. A strong mindset understands that most breakthroughs happen after boredom, not excitement. He advises setting simple non-negotiables, like reviewing finances weekly or investing monthly, regardless of mood. These commitments reduce emotional decision-making and strengthen resilience. When persistence becomes a habit, quitting no longer feels like an option. The mind adapts to consistency. and consistency compounds results quietly beneath the surface. He adds that persistence also requires forgiveness. Missed goals, delayed progress, or temporary setbacks don't cancel growth. They test it. Through deep reflection, the listener learns to adjust instead of abandon the path. Persistence paired with reflection creates evolution instead of stagnation. Each correction strengthens discipline and reinforces self-trust. Emotional control improves because the mind stops panicking over imperfections. Progress becomes flexible, not fragile. That flexibility is a form of inner power that keeps momentum alive even when conditions change. He closes this topic by reminding the listener that persistence isn't loud, aggressive, or dramatic. It's steady, intentional, and deeply powerful. Those who persist don't rush prosperity, they build it. With focus protected, habits reinforced, and emotions stabilized, persistence becomes the bridge between effort and results. He lets that idea settle naturally and transitions forward, because once persistence is established, the next step is learning how to protect and direct. Focus with precision. He continues by explaining that focus is what gives persistence direction. Without focus, effort scatters and energy is wasted. Many people work hard but don't move forward because their attention is divided. Focus is the ability to decide what matters now and ignore what doesn't. He explains that money rewards clarity. When someone knows exactly what they're building, distractions lose power. Focus strengthens emotional control because it reduces decision overload. Instead of reacting to every opportunity or problem, the focused mind stays aligned with the plan. This alignment reinforces inner power and supports long-term prosperity built through discipline rather than urgency. He deepens the lesson by showing how focus works in daily financial life. It's choosing one primary goal instead of chasing 10. It's finishing debt elimination before jumping into risky investments. It's improving one income stream before starting another. He explains that focus requires strategic silence, because saying no to distractions often means saying no without explanation. Focused people don't argue with temptation, they remove it. Automatic payments, clear budgets, and simplified systems reduce emotional friction and support consistency. Over time, this clarity builds resilience because progress becomes measurable and predictable. He then explains how lack of focus creates emotional stress. Constant switching between goals increases anxiety and weakens discipline. The mind feels busy but unproductive. Focus restores calm by narrowing attention. He advises the listener to define one financial priority per season, not per week. This seasonal focus allows deep work and steady progress. With fewer targets, awareness sharpens and decisions improve. Focus turns effort into leverage. The listener begins to see that doing less, better, is often the fastest path to prosperity. He moves into reflection, explaining that focus must be reviewed regularly. Without reflection, focus turns into stubbornness. Through deep reflection, the listener evaluates what's working and what needs adjustment. This process strengthens impulse control because decisions are based on data, not emotion. Focus becomes flexible, not rigid. It adapts without losing direction. This balance builds a strong mindset that stays steady under pressure and avoids emotional overreaction. He closes this topic by reminding the listener that focus is a form of respect for time, energy, and money. When focus is protected, discipline becomes easier and persistence becomes natural. Progress accelerates quietly, powered by silent strength rather than noise. With focus firmly in place, the foundation is ready for the next principle, because once attention is directed, the mind must be trained to maintain a strong mindset even when challenges test belief. Before you move on, Pause for a second and be honest with yourself. How many times have you consumed content like this, felt the truth hit hard, nodded along, and then gone right back to the same habits, the same emotional decisions, the same financial loop? This is the moment where everything you've heard either turns into action or fades into noise. If this message sparked awareness, if it challenged your comfort, if it made you reflect deeply on your money, your discipline, and your mindset, then don't let it end here. Leave a comment right now and answer this honestly. What is the one habit you know you must change? Starting today, that single act of clarity strengthens focus and locks in commitment. Now make sure you're subscribed to the channel and turn on notifications, because most people watch, learn, and disappear, while only a few stay consistent and actually transform their lives. If you want to build prosperity with discipline, emotional control, and an unshakable mind, you can't afford to miss the next videos. Click on the next recommended video on your screen now, because it was chosen to take this lesson deeper and move you closer to real financial growth. Stay disciplined, stay focused, and remember, true power is built quietly, one decision at a time. This is Napoleon Hill.